Hello everybody, Scott Bryce here, and I am on another Vermi-Adventure. This is another feeding test. This is one, I already know what the outcome is going to be, but I wanted to get this on video. This is something that's somewhat controversial in the worm composting community, though it really shouldn't be. What I have here is tomatoes. This one of my little bins I use to do my tests. You can see it's full of holes. I can't flip this over, so I'll show it to you after I close it back up. What I have in here is a mixture of tomatoes and cardboard. Some people claim that tomatoes have too much acid and they're not good for the worms, or the worms won't eat them. Other people claim, myself included, that worms love tomatoes and will eat them right up. So I will put the lid back on here. As you can see, the lid is full of holes. The bottom is full of holes. If the worms like tomatoes, as the tomatoes break down, they'll crawl in here and eat them up. If they don't like the tomatoes, they'll just stay out. So I've mentioned before in here that I'm a bit of an opportunist when it comes to these tests. We had our first frost of the season last night and all my tomato plants died. And so I plucked off a bunch of tomatoes. What I have in here is some of the tomatoes that had split open and were starting to go bad on the vine. And so I decided, well, this would be a good time to do this test. So I'll dig in here. Let's see, I'm shaking my camera a bit. You can see I've got plenty of worms in here. I'm going to bury this down about where the worms are feeding. We'll leave this in here for a few days, a week, maybe 2 weeks, and we'll see if the worms will eat tomatoes. The tomatoes have been in the bin now for 4 days. So let's take a look. Here we go. You can see there are worms crawling in here. And as we open this up, we'll notice we have worms in here. Let's get this in the camera here so I can see it a little better. The worms are all the way through this. Let's dig in here a little bit more. You can see I've got a lot of worms in here. Lots of worms, and they're all the way through this, and so they're eating the tomatoes. They're eating the tomatoes just fine. There's a lot of mold in here. Let's give this a quick sniff test. The smell is somewhere between mold, decomposing tomatoes. I don't quite have an earthy smell in here yet. I should soon. I'll dig in here a little bit more. Let's keep this in the camera. Okay, yeah, you can see there are a lot of worms in here. The worms are enjoying these tomatoes. Tomatoes have two things in them that worms like, and that's moisture and sugar. And so the worms are going to go after tomatoes fairly quickly. Like I say, it's only been 4 days, and I have a lot of worms in here. So despite the acid and people warning against acidic foods in the worm bin, I would have no hesitation at all putting tomatoes, even a lot of tomatoes, in a worm bin. The worms will eat them right up. So try this again, tomatoes. Tomatoes in a worm bin, I would absolutely go for it. Thanks for watching.